All right, now that we have some nice stitches for our saddle piece here, let's go ahead and add some stitches on the front panel here, the toe cap slash vamp panel. And we're going to do this a little bit differently, however. Instead of adding a groove or a trough for the stitches to sit in, we're going to have the stitches just right along the top of that panel. And we're also going to do this so that we use our own curve, and we're going to build that curve as we go. We don't have to build the curve before we make the stitches. We can build it with the stitch procedural in place. So, and that's kind of fun. So let's take a look at that real quick. So I'm going to go to, first thing I'm going to do is going to go to the toe cap vamp there. And then I'm going to add a new layer. So I'm going to hit the N key, and that's going to put that layer right above that. It's not really necessary that it sits above it, but it just makes it a little convenient to, a little more convenient to select. Okay, so I'm going to call this toe cap curve stitches. There we go. Now, with that selected, I'm just going to go over to the stitches, the stitch mesh setup, and click that. And I'm going to use preset. I'm going to use curve source. It's going to be an existing mesh. And down at the bottom, which existing mesh do I want to use? We'll use this toe cap curve stitches. So that's going to be the curve that we're going to use to make the stitches with. And I'm just going to select that stitch right there. Okay, already you can see it created a locator item here. And now we need to tell it what mesh we want this to align to. And it's going to be the toe cap vamp right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and just grab a spline curve tool. Make sure my mesh constraint is on to set to background. And so we have to go right over to here now, back to the toe cap vamp curve, and start building our curve. Now, if nothing happens at the beginning, no big deal. Just go back over to the toe cap curve stitch item and reselect that, or actually change to a different item and change back. And there it is. I don't know why, it's just a little bit of a bug, but it's not a big deal. Now I got to go back over to my toe cap curve here, and while I'm polygon mode, I'm going to click that off. And I'm just going to select those polygons, and it will re-invoke that curve. However, if I want to continue adding on to this, I have to go to Tool Properties and go into Add mode, because by default, if you drop out of the curve creation and try to add on to your existing curve by selecting it again, it goes into edit mode, and you won't be able to add any additional control vertices until, of course, you select add. And I can close that now and just go happily building my stitches. So that's kind of cool. Now, whenever you are building a curve, if you have to adjust one of the control vertices on that curve, you want to make sure that you select the end of the chain again before you start adding new control vertices. And you can go crazy with your stitch patterns. And there we are, and this doesn't take very long at all. All right.